Today we're going to be talking about the ego and how it keeps you stuck. And the reason why I want to make this video is because lately I've been teaching content to a few people who are trying to start their own personal brand. And one of the things I keep trying to break them out of is what they believe is obvious is original to other people. What does this mean? These people that I'm teaching right now, they're very, very intelligent in their field, but because they're always around people who know the stuff that they're talking about, they feel like everybody knows this. So one of the things I keep trying to explain to them is what's obvious to you is original to somebody else. And realize the knowledge you have, not everybody has it. So a lot of times what the ego believes is the things that are going on inside of our heads, everybody's thinking. This is why when the ego finds somebody who doesn't agree with them, they often want to argue. So what you got to realize that your ego, your mind, the thoughts that you have in your head that seem very, very common to you is actually original to somebody else. So this is the things I'm trying to teach right now to these 3 people that I'm actually teaching how to make content and how to actually build your own personal brand. That way they could, I don't want to say quit what they're currently doing, but at least have some passive income. But they're stuck in their egos. They don't realize that they're over intellectualizing their content, which is what's keeping them stuck. And what I keep trying to explain to them is there's an audience for you. And the audience that you want to serve, you need to, and this sounds very, very bad, you need to actually dumb down your content. See, the 3 people that I'm talking to, they're very, very professional in their field. And when they start to talk to me about their content, I say, look, you need to talk to me like I'm 5. You're talking to me like I understand what you're saying. And then you get upset why nobody is actually resonating with your content. Another thing they're trying to do, this is something I noticed I did, is they're trying to make content that their peers would watch. What does this mean? Basically, they're in a profession, and when they start to put out their content, they want to make sure the people in their profession approves of it. And I asked them, why? Why do you want to do this? They're not your ideal customer. They're not your ideal client. They're not your ideal audience. You can't serve these people because the information you're trying to put out there, it's not for them. They already know the information. They already know the knowledge. So you got to start to look at your content as you're trying to serve people. But again, they're stuck in their ego. They rather look good than actually serve, because the reason why they want to look good is because they're afraid that if their peers actually see their work, that they're going to be judged. And to the ego, being judged, particularly by your peer group, is actual death. What do I mean by this? The ego was developed hundreds of thousands of years ago. Long time ago. And back in the day, we lived in tribes and we couldn't survive on our own. And the fact that we couldn't survive on our own meant that we needed the approval of the tribe for everything that we did. Otherwise, because if there was ever a point where the tribe didn't agree with what we did, they could either kick us out of the tribe, which means we're on our own, which means we're going to die, because back in those days, it was the hunter-gatherer days, or the tribe would actually kill you. The tribe would actually kill you. So, your ego, it's keeping you stuck in intellectual. What you gotta realize, if you wanna really, really let go of your ego, you gotta start to tap into the body and feel and experience the moment in front of you. So these 3 people that I'm teaching right now with the content, even when I get them on camera, they're very, very stiff. They're stuck with what's the right thing to say. And I keep trying to explain this to them that there is no right thing to say. Yes, I get it. There's techniques out there that are taught to grab attention. For instance, the hook. So for instance, when I started this video, I don't remember what I said. I said something like the ego is keeping you stuck. That's something that if people are interested in the ego and they currently feel stuck, might grab their attention. So they're so focused on what to actually say as opposed to actually just feeling their content. They're stuck on the logical, they're stuck on the intellectual. And yes, this does work. This is why a lot of content creators, some of them actually do well, but a lot of them, they script out every word that they say, and they have to take it takes them hours to make a 3-minute reel. They're constantly changing up the camera angles, they're doing all of this stuff to the point where it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel authentic. Anytime I see a content creator, particularly in my field or niche, and I see the words that they say, the words that they use, and they all sound the same, by the way, it just looks like ChatGPT or AI said it. And I'm like, why does everybody in my field sound exactly the same? So one of the things I'm trying to teach them right now is you need to get back into feeling into your body and feel the message you're delivering. Stop getting stuck so much in the intellectual. Let go of that. You already know the knowledge. They're trying to think of the perfect thing to say. Because why? Because the ego is afraid to look bad. And again, the three of them, they're trying to impress their peers. People that are never gonna buy from them anyway. People that are never gonna listen to them anyway. Like me personally, I know from experience, I've been doing this for 6 years now. All of my friends, all of my family, all of my ex-coworkers, they don't watch my stuff. They were actually pretty annoyed when I first started posting. They're like, oh, Lou. Like I had ex-clients actually unfollow me when I started posting very, very frequently. Because the reason why I took off the way I did was not because my content was very, very good. It's not because my content was very, very polished. It was because I was shipping. It's a very, very powerful word. Shipping. What does shipping mean? Basically means I was pumping out content. I was making 4 to 5 pieces of content every single day, to the point where people are constantly seeing my face to where they started to get interested in what I was doing. In order for me to do that, I can't worry about how good the content actually is. I can't. And all I could pretty much do is do my best to get into rhythm, make it easy for myself to make content, don't care too much about what other people think, and ship, put it out. This is the key to not getting stuck, is shipping, motion, getting in rhythm, taking so much action that you overwhelm the thinking mind. You can stop getting stuck in the intellectual. So in order for you to release your ego, one of the tricks is take so much action that you overwhelm the thinking mind. I'll give you an example of this. I work with a lot of clients who have like social anxiety. And when they go to social events, and this is probably my specialty because this is something I suffer with for a really, really long time. One of my specialties is with social anxiety is I know that they're gonna be stuck in their head. They're gonna try to think of the right thing to say, the perfect thing to say. And I say, hey, look, this is what you gotta do. When you go to the social event, you need to say hi to everybody. Stop looking for the right person to talk to. Instead, just talk to everybody. And the first 3 or 4 approaches, the first 3 or 4 people that you actually talk to, it's gonna feel awkward. It's going to feel weird. But what you gotta do is take so much action to the point where you overwhelm the thinking mind. Because what happens is, once you start overwhelming the thinking mind, the brain starts to shut down, which is a good thing, by the way. Which is a good thing, meaning the ego, it starts to shut down. It just gets out of the way and you start to feel everything. Feel all of the words you're saying. And all of a sudden, once you take so much action, it's like you know the right thing to say. So one of the secrets I was showing these 3 people about making content was we're gonna keep making videos over and over and over and over again. And this one kid that I worked with, he got it down to the point where we made like 5 videos back to back to back to back to back. And all 5 videos were bad. He wasn't feeling it. But what happened was once he got to that 6th video, and they were all about 90-second clips. Once he got to the 6th video, his brain shut down, his ego shut down, he stopped feeling stuck, and all of a sudden, it was just zipping out. His actual intelligence came alive because he stopped getting stuck in his head on what to say, and he started to feel the message. Now, the reason why he got to that point was the first 5 videos sucked. He was stuck, he was frozen, he was tense, he was stiff, he was tight. But I said to him, keep going. We're gonna keep on making videos back to back to back to back to back. Keep talking. Don't pause. Don't try to think of what to say. Just allow the message to flow out. By the time he got to the 6th video, he made another 10 videos, and those 10 videos were actually pretty decent. He got into such a state of flow. He felt the message, and he actually felt good. He was like, bro, this is the best I felt in a really, really long time. I feel so happy. I feel so alive. I feel the dopamine flowing in my head, the serotonin. He started using these words that I understand, but he's kind of a dork. But he started like, yeah, dopamine, serotonin. I feel the buzz, I feel alive. And I saw it. He actually looked happy because he took so much action. He overwhelmed the ego to the point where the ego said, okay, I'm gonna just get out the way and let you do you. So, for you, are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling bogged down? What you could do is find a particular activity and just double down on it. A great activity you could do right now is just take out your phone and start speaking to your camera. And make an effort to speak to your camera, let's say 30 minutes. What do you talk about? Who knows? Just take out your phone and start talking. And guess what? The first 22 minutes of you just talking to the camera, you're not gonna know what to say. Your ego's gonna wanna control the message. You're gonna try to think of the right thing to say. You're gonna feel all of this tension come up in your body. Your job is to just keep going. Make it to 30 minutes and watch what happens at around maybe the 22 or 23 minute mark. Your genius is gonna be unlocked. All of a sudden, the ego is gonna get out the way and the real you is going to unfold. And in that last 7 minutes, you're gonna get into such a flow state that things that come out of your mouth, when you re-listen to it, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I said that. How did that sound so good? The way I said it, the look I gave to the camera, it was almost as if I was being super seductive, super flirtatious. I was being funny, I was being witty, I was being clear. So this is a huge key that most people don't talk about. How to stop being stuck is you gotta take so much action, imperfect action, to the point where you overwhelm the thinking mind, you overwhelm the ego, to the point where the ego just gives up and gets out the way. And you should be doing this every single day. There should be an activity that you do every single day that's a little bit difficult, that feels a little bit cringy. Like for me, it used to be, I used to try to talk to 30 people, 30 strangers every single day. And believe it or not, when I would approach these 30 strangers every single day, the first 3 or 4 people I would try to talk to, I was scared. It felt weird. I could feel my ego say, oh my, is it safe? Why would you do this? But by the time I got to the 4th or 5th person, I was open. And the more I did it, the more of that buzzing sensation I felt. And all of a sudden it became super, super easy to meet people. So this is something I did. But the first 3 or 4 approaches, my voice was meek. I was scared. But once I got the evidence that I wasn't going to get killed, it was like my brain just shut down. It stopped thinking so much. I started to feel, and it got to the point where I became so expressive that I became the most charismatic person in any room I went to. So this is a big trick. If you're feeling stuck, your ego is keeping you tense, you're in a state of protection, what I would really recommend you do is find a particular activity that's a little bit cringy, that feels a little bit uncomfortable, and take so much action to the point where eventually your ego is just gonna get out the way. Expect it to be uncomfortable the first 20 or 22 minutes, 25 minutes. But if you make it to a half hour to 45 minutes and you keep on going, trust that you're eventually gonna feel good and you're gonna crack the dam to the point where the real you is going to come out, all right? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some value from it. If you did, as always, leave any feedback in the comment section below. Peace.